Miguel, 25 years is a long time. You should have gotten your papers already. I get comments like this all the time, which just tells me that they have no clue how the system works. I was brought here at the age of 9 as an undocumented immigrant. That was in the year 2000, and I have been undocumented for 25 years. And I'm sharing my story to bring awareness because I understand a lot of people just have no clue how this thing works. And unfortunately, they'll have an inch deep opinion on an issue that's a mile deep in complexity. If that's you, I hope that you make an effort to listen. I was undocumented from the age of 9 all the way up until I was 22 years old. Technically, I'm still undocumented, but I'll get to that. In the year 2020, President Barack Obama created DACA, which stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. And it doesn't give me legal status, but it defers immigration action essentially until they can figure out what to do with me. So even though it does not give me legal status, I was able to get a work permit, a social security number, and a driver's license. President Barack Obama did this because he tried to pass comprehensive immigration reform, which is just a big word for trying to fix the immigration system holistically, meaning stronger border security, but also figuring out what to do with the 11 plus million people who are here undocumented. Because anybody in their right mind would understand that removing 11 million people, which is probably a much higher number by now, is not only a logistical nightmare, but it's also going to be incredibly expensive. Not just for the removal, but also the economic impact of removing 11 plus million workers. Not to mention the chaos that we are seeing right now. And the family separation, since a lot of these people are integrated with American families. I'm married to an American citizen. My wife is from North Carolina. I have 2 American children and another one on the way. And if you can't tell from my accent, I've been here for a really long time. I went to elementary, middle, and high school here. I grew up here. I now have 2 businesses, multiple properties. I employ 6 people, and I pay a lot of money in taxes. So not only do I think it would be unjust to remove these people and rip families apart, but economically and logistically, it's nonsensical. Being given a work permit back in 2012 opened up so many opportunities for me, which actually motivated me to become an entrepreneur and help others do the same. Now, again, because DACA does not grant you legal status, it also prevented me from leaving the country. So I was not able to go back to my country for 23 years. I had multiple family members die, and I was not able to even say goodbye to them, nor was I able to go bury them. But a couple of years ago, my grandfather passed away, and I requested what's called a humanitarian advance parole, which under DACA allows me to leave and have a legal point of entry. This is really important because in 2017, I married my wife, who again is an American citizen. I began a different immigration process for her to petition me to have a residence and then eventually a citizenship. This process has now taken 8 years. So far, I'm about $20,000 in, including attorney's fees and immigration fees and all kinds of other fees. I have filed countless applications. Now, when I entered the country at the age of 9, I had no documentation, so I was an undocumented 9-year-old. I had no legal point of entry, which is required to have my wife petition me without having to leave the country. That's called an adjustment of status. That's why other people who came here legally and then get married, they just have their status adjusted and they are given a residence. I was not able to do that. Not only that, I had to follow a different path that has taken so far 8 years. I've literally been waiting this long. The path that I'm on requires for me to leave the country and request a legal entry, meaning I have to have an interview at a U.S. consulate in Mexico. Now, I've been waiting for this interview for, again, 8 years. Back in April, I received an email that said I had to go to my appointment within 3 weeks. I just found out my wife is pregnant with our 3rd baby, and due to the political climate, I didn't want to leave the country and get stuck in Mexico and leave my pregnant wife here with my 2 children. So we decided to postpone it. Now I can go back and file the other process, which allows me to do an adjustment of status, and we're considering doing that. All this to say, it has not been for lack of effort. And thankfully, I'm close to being at the end of my process. And I say all of this because most people think it's something you can do very easily, and it's not the case, especially for somebody who came as an undocumented child. But more importantly, I think it's super important for people to not dehumanize immigrants. I mean, we use terms like alien. And when you use those kind of terms that dehumanize people, it allows you to think of them and treat them in a different way than you would like to be treated. Because yes, we are from another country, but we are human beings just like you. We have the same basic fundamental needs, which should help you have more compassion and empathy for these people. Because if you were in your country and you had to leave due to violence, hunger, need, not being able to provide for your children, out of basic fundamental human needs, it's very likely you would do the same thing. Especially if you are a parent, please hear me out. What would you do if your child was hungry, if your child was in danger, if you felt like you could not provide them a better life? Now, I know some people will say, well, they should have come in legally from the start. What you don't understand is that people from certain countries don't have the ability that Americans have to go pretty much anywhere they want in the world. I'm from Mexico, and I can tell you that as a poor Mexican, it is extremely difficult to qualify to be able to come to the US. Even just as a tourist. It's not the same for everyone, but generally speaking, they require for you to have money, property, assets. And if you're a poor person in Mexico, you don't have any of these things. So you really are not able to apply to do it legally. And again, desperate people do what they have to do. They don't do it because they want to leave their homeland. And most of these people make these decisions with great sacrifice. My mother was not able to see her father for 25 years, and even when he passed away, she was not able to see him. And this is a very common story. Families will literally not see each other for decades and sometimes till the end of their life. And again, I'm trying to get you to think about these people as human beings just like you, because that's what they are. They're made in the image of God just like you. And if you can't see that, I hope you never have to be in a situation like they have. I'm trying to bring awareness to this issue, so please help me share. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments.